Thank you for allowing me to talk to you. My name is Christine Pfister McComas, and I live at 15634 Thistle Downs Court in western Howard County in Woodbine. I'm here in support of both of the education bills proposed. I was born and raised in Ellicott City, and other than college, have always been proud to, I've lived here all my life, and I'm just moved west, other than when I was in college. And I've always been proud to say that I am a K through 12 product of the Howard County Public School System, attending Rockland, Patapsco, and then Mount Hebron High School. While I was at Mount Hebron, I was a page to the Maryland General Assembly. Mr. Casemeyer was there when I was there.
Pretty old.
I only remember the name. I would have nenever guessed that from looking at you.
Well, there's a shout.
He's better looking now.
I'm the mother of Grace McComas, who was a bright, kind, and well-adjusted 14-year-old until an uninvestigated drug-assisted sexual assault by an older Glenelg student, followed by months of sexual harassment, bullying, and cyberbullying, which were reported to the school system, the police, and the legal system with no initial intervention. And when it did finally come, it came too late. We lost her on Easter Sunday, 2012, at the age of 15 to suicide. Her death was a great injustice. Less than a month after our loss, we began speaking about the new and serious dangers of bullying in the cyber age, where our children are digitally interconnected in ways that no other generation has been, where vicious abuse is instantaneously shared to hundreds in their peer group and beyond. It's invasive, it's pervasive, and it never disappears. The threatening and malicious and shocking nature of her bullying and our strong documentation of Grace's struggle was strong enough to raise awareness, and less than a year after her death, we have many of you to thank for the unanimous passage of what is now called Grace's Law. I'm very proud of this picture because I never thought it could happen that quickly. It will protect future children from the type of abuse that Grace suffered. In relation to the education bills before you, I've been openly and vocally concerned about how Glenelg handled Grace's struggle both before and after her death. On multiple occasions, members of the Board of Ed and HCPSS administration have heard me speak and know that we feel unheard. Yet no one has ever shown any interest in learning more, which frankly scares me vis-a-vis future child welfare, because if we don't know what has changed, it could happen again. I feel change is needed with representation responsible for and interested in stakeholders' interests. Our children attended Glenwood Middle School, and I watched our community's difficulty in being heard and respected when they were and dealt with some serious integrity questions as it related to our own case. Our family has been unable, in fact, to get Grace's private records requested twice and legally mandated by federal FERPA laws. The first time, everything came. Kindergarten, immunization records, things like that, everything but the things that had to do with the last year of her life and our need for help. And then at that time, I was already focused on making the law. It wasn't a punitive interest at that time. I wanted to do the best we could with a horrible situation. And so we were focused on the law, and I thought, when I have time and when I'm complete again, which will never be, I'll look at this again. So last year I came around again and through a law firm requested her files specific to her problem. And it said on there you must give us these files. You must send these files in or be, against the law. And their response was to ignore it. No calls, no files, no nothing. And I don't know whose job it is to assess what's going on within the school system. And I approached Delegate Miller after the mold meeting when I had asked all of the people that you saw sitting in these first 3 rows were there, and I asked them, what has changed and where are our files? And they essentially told me to sit down. So I asked Delegate Miller, who is responsible for oversight in the school system? Because right now they just don't talk about anything they don't want to talk about. And his answer was the Board of Ed. And I'm thinking, well, all those people, I've spoken since 4 weeks after she died. It was less than that. And nobody, ever stepped up and says, well, let's hear, what went on and let's see what we can fix. So, lastly, Grace's law is a child protective law, which, if known, should act as a deterrent. The Howard County Public School System, from the moment she died, will not mention her name or this law. I was disappointed. I really wanted these kids to hear more of why we're really here tonight, I think. And so I followed them all out there, and I shared with them the flyer that you have there, because I would love it for that to be in every Maryland school child's agenda book. And not one of those kids that is, obviously very bright and very active in politics and everything else, not one of them knew about Grace's law. Baltimore County Superintendent put it in a newsletter to all of his employees. But again, it's Howard County doesn't want to talk about what they don't want to talk about. And I would submit to you that it's a very serious situation. And so I would ask you to pass both of these laws.
Thank you very much, Senator Kasemar.
So, not to be personal, but what is it that they have, that you think they have that is of interest or you would want? What is it, a record of what do they have?
Well, there should be, there would be a suicide ideation form. There would be a bullying harassment form that clearly shows that we had been asking for help for months, and that there was, I really, over time, I think her civil rights were.
But do these things, they exist?
Oh, they absolutely exist.
So you're sure they have them?
I have
these
some
things.
copies of some of the things, but
Okay,
I'd like to know what else
I just want to
they
understand,
have.
what is it, I don't know,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with.
There's
Just
something
thank
else
God.
major too that I can't think of what it was, but I mean, through emails, I can prove that, I
Okay.
immediately switched to a female counselor, and then, showed them all of the background tweets like snitches should have their fingers cut off one by one while they watch their families burn. I hate you. I hope you see this, cry yourself to sleep and wake up and kill yourself. You might as well, you're a lousy piece of. These are things I took to them and asked for help with and didn't get it.
Okay, thank you.
John,
Yes. So,
I'm a little unclear with your testimony. You hired a lawyer, did you go to court?
No, I have this feeling about the whole thing. We have lost enough already.
Okay, I'm not.
And the way, the foot dragging with giving us files,
Yeah.
Barb was willing to put her money out
Yeah.
there. I have other children to worry about.
Sure.
And I've lost enough already. I'm not gonna pay a lawyer for what is right and what is due me.
Okay, well, what I'm trying to get at is, what is the basis for their saying that they're not producing it?
They've not communicated that.
Do you have correspondence from them? Do you
No,
have a
they were,
response?
the last legal letter was in 2014, last summer, and they were told, here it is, this is what we want. By law, you have 6 weeks to produce this, or you are in violation of law. and they just ignored it.
Okay, to the extent that there's correspondence that you can share with us, I think I personally would like to see what happened so I can track through
Okay. About what part?
of the request and the non-response, or
Okay.
whatever, if there was previously responses and then there was none.
Okay.
I'd sort of like to see the chain of correspondence,
I
okay?
am just beyond myself with frustration.
Yep.
And it makes it almost impossible to heal, and I want to move on
Yeah.
to good places. Like, if you look on there, I do speak, and my talk is always, you know, anti-bullying, anti-suicide, or suicide prevention, you know, all these type of things. If you take her name, Grace, and you can make it stand for giving respect and compassion to everyone, and I think all of the problems that we have in the world come down to that, but certainly cyberbullying and what I think is, you know, Howard County civility.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you for sharing your story.